Today we're going to be going over how to use Auto Deflators by JT Brooks. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to deflate your tire to your target pressure that you're going to calibrate your Auto Tire-Deflators down to. So we're going to do that with a gauge. So currently I'm sitting at about 28 psi, and we're just getting deflated. After deflating it down to your target range, which I set it to about 15 psi, then you're going to pull out one of your Auto Deflators. This is how you're going to calibrate it. There's a little locking ring right up here on the top, and you're going to remove that locking ring. Put it somewhere where you're not going to lose it, like on the ground. Then you're going to screw in this top part right here to about 1/8 of an inch. And that's going to apply pressure in the little spring. Then you're going to put it onto your stem valve. You'll see that air is not coming out. So what you're going to do is now you're going to start unscrewing that top part that we just screwed in until you start to feel air come out. And as soon as you start to feel air come out, then you screw it back in just until the air stops coming out, and then it's calibrated to that PSI. Right about there. So this right here is a little pull valve, and if you pull this, it starts to let air come out. So there's a little spring inside there, and all you're doing is setting the tension of that spring. So once there's not enough pressure coming out of the tire to push that pull valve out anymore, the air stops coming out. So it auto deflates your tires. Once that's set, take your locking washer and screw it back on carefully so that you don't turn that adjustment valve. And that way it doesn't back itself in or out, and it's set to that PSI. And then just remove it. And this one is now calibrated. So then we'll just do the same process for the rest of them. So just to show you how this works again, now that this one has been calibrated, I'm going to put it on the back tire, which is still sitting at about 28 to 30 psi, and I'm going to bring it down to 15 psi with the Auto Deflator. I'm going to screw it on, and it will just start letting air out. Sometimes to get it started, you have to pull on this little valve right here, and then just let it go. And once it's done, and there's not enough pressure coming out, then it will pull that little pin back in, and air will stop coming out of the tire. Then you can check with the gauge to make sure that you're actually at the desired PSI. So this tire deflator has just stopped on its own. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to check the pressure to see if we're close to exactly the range that I thought I calibrated it to. And that's about right where I set it to, about 15 psi. So I'm just going to put my caps back on, and my other tires are currently deflating, and I'll check those too to make sure everything's calibrated good.